knew that one belief eliminated from your brain could change the course of your reality, would you want that? It's not for everyone, only the brave. Those who want to own their life like the powerful leaders they were born to be. A pivotal moment can change everything. Now, here's the host of Crossroads to Awakening show, Wendy Paquette.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to January 18th, 2021. It's a super fun day, and we're celebrating many, many things. In today's episode, well, it's called Your Birthday Magic. And what does your birthday have to do with it? And really, what I wanted to say is it's called Leaders Are Born. That's what I was really saying, because what does your birthday have to do with it? And so let's get this episode started. I'm really excited today because it is a monumental day, not only for me, for a lot of people around the globe. And listen, there are many people celebrating many things today, and they're all different things because we all live in different countries and celebrate different aspects of our reality in different days. And for some of us it's our birthday, and for some of us it's MLK Day, and for some of us it's something else around the globe. And what you get to know is that it's something every day that we get to celebrate. And so what does your birthday have to do with it? Well, from my perspective, it's that you were born. Leaders are born. And so that's what we're going to talk into today. So what I like to say also is, if you're listening to this and you're not willing to see that you were born a leader, or that leaders are born, two different things, then this episode is not for you. This is for all my leaders out there wanting to change the world from where they stand. So that's what we're up to in this reality. The world shifts because you said so. And we're going to just dive right into this episode because it is a celebratory, monumental experience, this reality. And so why wait? So let's get started. This is the Crossroads to Awakening show. I'm Wendy Paquette. I'm your host with the most and inside insight. That's what I'm looking at today. The inside insight on your birthday, that you were born and that you are a leader, if you so choose, if you are willing. And we're going to speak into that right now. So my first question to you is this: are you a leader? Are you a leader? Leaders are many, many things. They are someone, something, someone causing a movement in this reality that they're unafraid of other people's opinions, willing to take risks, someone willing to turn obstacles into opportunities and stand out in their vision beyond anyone else without the fear of what the repercussions may be, because they come from their heart. They take a powerful stand in this world. And today's episode is going to be different in that I was tasked by one of my very best friends to deliver my version, and this is a stretch she gave me, which I've had once before, my version of an MLK speech to the world. So there won't be any interruptions through this. This is just going to be me speaking to you, the leader in you, to your soul. That's what this is. This episode is a message to your soul. Are you ready? Okay. So you, that beautiful human that has chosen to continue to listen to this episode, I'm speaking directly to you. You were born and you live and you are alive. All different things. Being that when you are born, you are taken care of, if you be so fortunate in your reality to have a family to love and take care of you. And if not, you choose other ways of seeing your greatness, but you are born alive. That does not necessarily mean that you are living. You could be alive and sitting at home in your house and wondering what's next and waiting for the next instruction and waiting to be told what this 2020 COVID-19 pandemic in the 2021 state is going to be for you. Or you could be your own leader. Stand in your own vision, and better yet, get clear on what that vision truly is, and lean in and be a stand for our world to look, be, feel, and be experienced differently. Right? We get to be a stand on what we really, really want out of this reality because we said so. So there's no more waiting on the sidelines. So there's no more, as I would put in air quotes, lurker leaders, as I once chose, sitting on the sidelines, watching everybody else stand up and take a risk. Maybe they weren't going to be liked, or maybe they were, but they didn't know and they didn't care. They were willing to stand out in front of everyone else and be a brave soul to pave the pathway forward for all of us. And me as a lurker leader sitting on the side, waiting to see the gaps so that I could fill them to ensure success, is not leading from the front lines. It's not leading on the leading edge of my life or anyone else's, sitting on the sidelines, waiting for someone else to be the leader, make the change, be the change that we're all asking for in our reality. I was on the sidelines, waiting for someone else to create and be the brave one. And this year of 2021 is my stand. This is where I stand out, not caring what other people think, but caring that I'm seeing a reflection of myself everywhere I look. And the only way to see what I want to experience is to be it. And so this is my stand today. Who are you today? Because today is your birthday. Why? Because being born and leading is a flick of the switch from someone like me who chose to be a lurker leader up until I didn't and chose to lead, to someone who's already leading and just hasn't realized that that's the stand they're being out on the front lines, paving the way for all of us to see what's truly possible. So my request of you today is, what are you standing for? Who are you? Who are you willing to be in order to see this world differently? Because in order to see it, we get to be it first. And what is your next move? Because moving as a team, moving as a group, as a community in unity for what we all want is imperative to see that change, to be that change, and to celebrate our oneness together. Sounds like a dichotomy, but in order to see what we want in the world as coming to life, we get to be it first. And we are uniquely individual, each in a skin suit of our own, yet still standing united as humans on this planet. So what is your stand? What is your vision? And how are you living it? Like live right now with all of us together. Let's celebrate that. So today is your birthday too. This is the birthday magic I bring today. This stand that you can be in the world where our lives get to change because you said so. Being a leader, and now I know I said this at the beginning, don't stay for the episode and listen if you're not willing to be the leader in our reality that is the change that we want to see in the world. You can be and choose lurker leader like I did for so many years and watch and wait for the gaps to show up and then slide in and rescue by filling those gaps to ensure success in some way. But that is not leading from the front lines, the leading edge, the cutting edge. So a vision is something that you stand for, that you'd like to experience in our reality that maybe hasn't been experienced yet. For me, the vision is experiencing peace through the unknown. And for most, it's the scariest place if there is the unknown, because you don't know what's coming. But what a leader stands for and where they come from is how we get there. When you come from your heart, no matter what, when you come from love, no matter what that looks like, what you stand for matters, because you're sharing this reality with the people that are around you. By default, they experience you, your family, your close family members, your friends, your neighbors, your community, your school, perhaps, right? Your teams. So who are you going to be? And what are you going to stand for today so that our world can be experienced from the most magnificent place of the unknown? Because if we live from anything else, and I mean anything else, we are living from the past. And if the past isn't something that we are excited about, that we're proud of, and that we want to repeat, we cannot look at it as our guiding light for the future. We can stand in the words of Martin Luther King and be the change that he declared, see a world in unity, and not be judged by the color of our skin, but by how we show up in the world. That's the difference. So as someone who is listening and maybe listening to now or in the future to this episode, hear this as your moment to experience your birthday today. It may be any other day, but today is the day you get to flick this switch on and choose to be the leader that is born. So when I was in my meditation earlier today, what I discovered is that leaders are born, period. They're born, which means you can decide today to flick the switch and be born today as a leader. I mean, we've heard in other religions, like I want to say like a reborn experience, or maybe when you're switching religions, but you're reborn into something else. I'm just using words that I've heard before. I have no evidence of that. I haven't leaned into it or researched it. What I do know is you can be born at any given time, which means you can choose you and decide to live fully now. And it doesn't matter how old you are. What matters is that you're choosing to be on the leading edge of your life and experience this world in the only way you know how, which is in love, peace, gratitude, community, unity, and be a powerful stand for your vision. So this episode is different in this way. It is a call for the leaders of this world who are either standing already and paving that way for themselves or us or others, or for you who has been on the sidelines, watching to see what happens and trying to decide if you can maybe step in and play for a second, or maybe get your toes wet. Listen, life will happen anyway, because it's happening now. And it doesn't matter what age you are, what color, what race, what location, what country, what anything. It doesn't matter. What matters is now, right now. Who do you get to be today? And what's in the gap from where you want to be to where you're at? From where you're at to where you want to be? What is in the way from you choosing to live now? And when I say leader, you don't have to be the leader of a country, the leader of a pack, the leader of anything except for your very own life. Because you can be the one person who sits in their house terrified to go outside because of what others have told you, or you can take the information, learn, grow, lean in, follow what you feel works for you, and still create magic in the world where people aren't left behind, where people aren't feeling scared and unloved. You can be that change. You can reach out in the only way you know how, and you can be a stand for your vision. So what is your vision? What is it? My curiosity leads in this very moment for you. How can we stand together? So we're going to take this short break and we're going to go into it early, Jen, because we get to experience ourselves in this moment as a birthday moment. We're going to have a birthday moment in that we're going to rebirth ourselves into our leadership, into a powerful stand for what gets to change in our society, in our community, in our lives, in our families, forevermore. It's not a small thing. It's huge. And it gets to start today. So let's go into a break. And when we come back, we're going to lean into what that could look like and how. Let's go into it now.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. The first step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now. because you're at the crossroads to awakening.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Crossroads to Awakening show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Now back to the program.
Okay, welcome back. I see one of my best friends who logs into the chat room. And Kathleen, this is for you. My whole entire episode is on my stand in my life, creating and paving the way to what's truly possible. It's no longer acceptable to not live. It's no longer acceptable to sit on the sidelines and fill in the gaps. Now is the time to stand out, to use your voice, to be free from the shackles and the chains and the things in your reality, especially in your mind, that hold you back from being the change that we want to see in the world. This is the day, today is the day for all humans who stand as leaders, who wake up in the morning and choose to live, to change the world from where they stand because they said so. It is a leader perspective. It is a leader honoring, and is not a simple and easy choice. But we only have one choice when we're born, and that is to live, not just to be alive, but to live. The only thing that matters is that living is what we choose to do when we stand out with committed action. When we choose to make a difference in someone else's life, when we choose to go all the way through the tough stuff so that we can have the gold at the end of the line. We can have that, instead of being the 3 feet from gold story, where had you kept going, you would get there. You will not end now. You will keep going when it's hard. You will create a stand for yourself if you don't have one, in order to be present and to be free and to live from the space of possibility on the leading edge of the conscious choice of the unknown. To live from the unknown isn't about being afraid of it or having a fake curiosity and still staying hidden beneath all of the covers. It's about what we choose to be in the face of fear, who we choose to be pushing through that, and the change we get to make in our reality and everyone's reality that we touch, because we chose to be that. Our life won't get to change if we don't. Other people's realities won't get to change if we don't. So let's celebrate now. Let's create from joy. Let's be you in this moment, and let's choose your birthday today. It's like flicking on a switch. Flicking on a switch that says, you know what? Up until now, I wasn't choosing to live. I was choosing to be alive. Just to be alive. Today, I choose to live. Today, I will move on into my reality with gumption, with possibility, with energy, with purpose, and with intention, so that every moment that I know matters actually does matter. Being a leader is standing out in front of everyone else and letting them know that, you know what, this is how it's going to be, because I said so. And it may not be comfortable for you, but it's comfortable for me to say that and be the change. We get to move through the uncomfortable spaces that are called fear, that are called darkness or shadows. We get to move through them and shine the light that we be, so that we can see our foot on the ground as we slide it forward into something we don't even know what it is, that unknown space. Is there a step there? Is it a pathway? Are there rocks? Is it water? We don't know, but we're willing to step into it anyway, because moving forward is all we have from this human perspective. So it will be a space of possibility because we said so. So today's episode is the birthday episode because leaders are born. Leaders are born to stand in that place, in the unknown place, and make a declaration that they're in committed action to achieve without knowing what's possible, except for what they've decided is possible. So if you're one of those people who makes declarations that are fake, that are false, because you're saying it out loud because someone else needs to hear it or wants to hear it, then that is not being a leader in standing on the leading edge of your uncomfortable possibility into the space of the unknown. That is pretending to be alive. Pretending, because you won't go anywhere. And then you wonder why you haven't. You'll absolutely be in the space of beating yourself up because you'll turn that not going anywhere into something's wrong with you. And meanwhile, you were the one who stood there and declared it without intention. You declared it for someone else's living. So today is a new birthday day where you get to commit to being a leader. You get to decide that you're going to walk into the uncomfortable and be unafraid of other people's opinions of you. Be unafraid of how hard others may say it might be. They don't know. Have they been there? Not in your reality, they haven't. So I see Kathleen writing it in there. When did I commit to being a leader? Today, I committed to being a leader. Today, on January 18th, 2021. Standing out and declaring what I really truly want is to be a stand for the unknown. Be a stand for the things that we can't see, that we really truly would like to experience, something that is a vision for one, that is in the space of the unknown, not something that I've experienced before. That's the past. If I haven't learned lessons from the past, I get to let that go and create from the space of now. There's no going back. MLK didn't stand there and declare a new world for people because he'd been there before. He stood there and declared it because that's what he wanted to experience in the world and knew that it would serve everyone else, even if he wasn't here. He was willing to stand out and say that. I believe there's only 8 people that stood with him that created this movement that actually did change the world. And we're still talking about it. That's the kind of unknown space that we get to declare and live into, even if we don't experience it. I think Simon Sinek had it when he said in his infinite game, it's a game that never ends. So it has no definitive beginning, middle, and end. If you are playing in an infinite space, you're stepping into the game and playing as a player the best you possibly can. Lead from your beingness and be in the infinite game, playing your heart out without judgment. The only person judging you would be you. Other people's opinions aren't of their own volition. It is their fear of what's truly possible. If they were to choose that, it's why they say that to you or why they say that about you. It's in their own conditioning that they go there. So experiencing today for me is different. Leading from this space of the now into the unknown doesn't look like something I'm familiar with. It doesn't look like something that I know. It looks unfamiliar. Unfamiliar in that I can't touch it. I can't see it in my eyeballs. It's not in front of me. It's not on a piece of paper. It's not in a book. No one can tell me about it. I can only come from the space of desire and vision within me to be the cause of that birth, that rocket of energy forward, to see in my mind's eye what I really want to experience. Peace. What would it be like to live from peace right now? To actually know that no matter what we did, joy was the result. Yeah, there's uncomfortableness, and yes, life happens, and we are in this space of uncomfortable, unsuspected tragedies. And joy comes within the community coming together, to know that we're not alone in those moments, to know that we can stand as one and be comforted and be loved, yet still in those faces. So we get to celebrate the now. Right now is when you get to flick the switch on to be born. Right now. Leaders are born in the moment they decide it. Not necessarily the day of your actual birth when you were a baby, and maybe you were. It doesn't matter. What matters is the actions that you choose in the moment that you declare your leadership, that you declare that you're alive and you're living your life. You're living into it. You're living into your visions. So when I see my friends in this chat say, be vulnerable and go deep and share your story, for me, what that means is leaving the story behind and living from right now. What if the story doesn't matter? What if the story was there because you needed it to mean something? Have no story. So if you have one that you would call horrible, or something that drags you down or makes you upset, stop living from the fucking story. Live from the now, the opportunity to stand and flick the switch on and be a leader today, and live your life from the space of uncomfortability and unknown, and decide right now that your life's amazing because you're in it, because you're alive, because you can take a step forward, because you can see the world from a new, fresh perspective, from a space of love. Love people for where they are, and lead from the space of infusing that love and expanding it into a space where someone can see a different perspective. This world is full of leaders who are turned off because they just haven't seen what's truly possible for themselves and for others. They're so busy hearing what other people are saying to them and fearing what that could or could not mean, instead of grabbing their experience and taking it into their heart and then delivering it to the world so the world can change because they said so. We're actually going to have dead air at the end of this show because there's only one message that gets to be heard. The message is, flick the switch on to be a leader right now. Turn your light on and live from it. Find your vision if you don't know what it is. Find your soul's purpose by allowing yourself to forget about the past, to forget about what has occurred that is causing you to drag your own self down. Unless you're using that to fuel your future, let it go. Stand in the space of possibility from a clean, heartfelt space. Look into the world. Look into your community. Look at your neighbor, your friend, and your family, and decide that right now, the world's going to look different because you said so. It's going to look different because the next move you make is going to change the perspective of you, of your friends, of your family. You're going to finally speak your mind, your heart in truth, and you're going to leave from that space. The world gets to wake up and see that community is what we got out of COVID. Community coming together is what we got out of COVID. Loving one another, seeing ourselves for what we truly are up until the moment we discover that maybe we're not happy. You think that COVID is horrible. We're fighting about what's true and what's not true with this illness. And yes, there's tragedies, and yes, people are dying, and yes, people are sick. And what else is possible in a space where you can see where others are sick and call them, make a phone call, share your heart with someone, come together as a community, find new ways to heal, find new ways to connect, find new ways to love your family, find new ways to love yourself. That's how the world gets shifted. That's how the world gets changed. It gets changed because you're willing to see something different, not from the space of being told what to do, but from leaning into the facts of what are possible and then finding your own way, your own gifts, and living into possibility instead of being limited by fear. So the vision for the world, as I see it, is living from the space of the unknown. It's from truly giving of your soul to the world in a way that you have never even experienced before. Connect with your heart. What experience would you like to have in this world that is completely new? Who would you touch? Whose hearts would you touch? Whose lives would you change? What arena could you shift that would change the way that we live our lives? What education system would get shifted and changed? How would the children be affected? How would they embody their leadership before they even hit the teenage years? Or if they're teenagers, how would they even, how would that change them into their adult and pre-adult experience? If they were leaders coming out of the gate, do you feel that we would live in the same space? We would be led everywhere we looked. And then the choice would be, which area would we like to go? What would we like to experience? Whose level of leadership would we like to experience? Our own, with, coupled with, in conjunction with, co-creating with? Who else? This world gets to look different because we said so. It can no longer be a space of limited impossibility. Live from the space of possibility. Live from your vision. My vision gets to be peace. From the space of the unknown. Stop being afraid of what you can't see, what's not in front of you, and create from that space. Stand in it. Right? If you were to look at your reality and decide that it looks different because I'm no longer afraid, what would it look like? Whose lives would change because you would imbue your awesomeness, your energy, your love, your insight, your possibility into someone else who feels like they want to die because they can't see the way out? It's a call for the leaders. Flick that switch on. Flick it on right now. Meaning, decide you were born right now. Today I arrived. Today I woke up. Today the light went on. Today we get to live because I said so. Today we get to live because you said so. And how can we stand together in that space? This episode is not a normal episode. This is an episode of a stream of consciousness that's coming through in deciding that the world gets to look different. Because up until today, I was judging myself based on my accomplishments and what I was doing in the world, instead of how bright my light could be, so that I could shine for others or shine into others and reach into others and support them in turning their light on too. Change the world from inside. If you work in the medical field, change the world from inside there. Be the light in there. If you work in the education system, be the light in there. Stop sitting on the sidelines. Turn your light on today. Turn your life on today. If you live in a space where the government feels constrictive and limiting and causing you to hide, then who can you be in that space yourself to be the change, to cause the change? What ideas do you have that could change the way we see how things are run in our country, in our community? Who do you get to be today? to stand with everyone and change the world from where we stand, how we see it. Look into the unknown and don't be afraid of not seeing the normal aspects of our reality. See what you want to see. What do you want to see? And then create from there. Stand at the beginning of the light that you flicked on today and peer out into your world and eliminate the things you don't want to see and what's left. Because if all you're staring at are the things you don't want to see, that's what you're creating more of. Let's peel those things away. Let's look into the space and see the things that you've been looking at that aren't working. You can decide what will make them work and make that change, or you can eliminate what you've been staring at and stare at the possibilities. What you'd like to experience. What would it be like to walk into the grocery store and feel peace? I don't know. People talking to each other, smiling at each other, creating a community. I don't know. What would it look like to have a conversation with all the teachers at your child's high school or grade school or daycare or university? What would it like to be a part of the community where you are linking arms and co-creating from a space of possibility over limitation? A space where not only do we learn from books, we learn from our heart, our soul. We can channel in our soul and be it in this now, so that we can pull through the things that we've never seen before. 2021 feels like that for me. It feels like new possibilities. Feels like peace because we said so. Even when something comes across the news and I get wind of it, that maybe we're going into a deeper lockdown, instead of going into a space of frustration and anger, what if we go into a space of possibility? And what could that look like? Right? What kind of chaos, what kind of scab gets to be peeled off, to be refreshed, to reheal, and how many times before we finally stand out? How many people are actually standing in the space of possibility and voicing their opinions, sharing what they see possible for our communities and our world, one by one, little by little, so that this heals? This big gaping rash or hole or scar heals. Because we're the healers of ourselves. We're the healers of our cuts. When I cut myself, it's me that heals. So what can we do to be the change? What can we be to be the change? What can we see to be the change? How many healers do you know in the world? How many healers are standing side by side each other going, well, I'm not sure what to do? Yeah, you do. Let's talk about it. Let's pull all those ideas into play and start implementing little by little so that eventually we're all linking arms and things are changing. The world is changing right before our eyes because we said so. We're willing to move the uncomfortable stuff out of the way and pull in new possibilities and step into them. Today has been an unusual experience for me. It's unusual in that nothing feels the same. It's like waking up in a world that looks different. A world that looks like it's puzzle pieces and they're not all put together, which to me, it doesn't indicate separation. It indicates possibilities. What I get to do is share with you how you can sit with yourself and decide, how can we put this all together differently? What if the pieces that used to fit together no longer do? They actually go somewhere else and pave the path for a new experience in our world coming together. It's been the longest stream of consciousness with absolutely no agenda for this episode. And clarity is the one thing that we're all after. So clarity is what we get to choose. Who are we being today? Who do we get to be tomorrow? How does it look different? Take all the things that aren't working and change them. Flick off the switch for those things that are beating you up, that are gnawing at you. The ways in which you choose scarcity over abundance. Flick it off and choose abundance on purpose. And don't pretend that you're choosing it and then bitch that it's not working. Actually choose it. Be in committed action. Be intentional with your life. And intention at the end of the day is represented by your results. If your results are awesome, that's because that's what your intention is. If your results are not awesome or not good, you never intended to win or succeed. To me, that would be the number one thing. At the end of the day, your results are going to speak to your intention, and your intention is where you come from, and your come from is your vision, and your vision is living. Not just being alive, but living. So follow that all the way through. Decide you're alive today. Today is your birthday. Today you stand in your vision. Today you change the world. Today your results are 100% what you're after. At the end of the day, you can look at your results and go, yes, I decided that's what I wanted. And if it's not, then who are you bullshitting? No one but yourself. The worst kind of lie is the lie to you. That's the worst lie there is. Because whatever you're being in the world is what you're creating. And if it's more little white lies, more pretend lies, more bullshit lies to yourself, that's what you're creating in the world. So do you really want peace? Do you really want joy? Do you really want to experience abundance in every way, with love, with finances, with success, with living? At the end of the day, if the answer is, I didn't experience it, then you are lying to yourself. You're making it hard. So go all in. This is a call for a birthday. Today is your day. Today's the day you flick on the switch to live. Today's the day that you get to stand for your vision. There are repeated words in this episode that you get to hear. My wish, my intention, my request is to hear whatever you hear. Most people are going to only take in 30% of what they hear of anything they've ever listened to. So repeating it is my only hope. Choose today to be your birthday. Choose today to be a poignant day in your life. Choose today to be the day that everyone talks about, because you chose to fully live your life, not just be alive. Be the light, be the change, be the cause of the world to shift. Own it in a way that everything you see is your responsibility. Every act that you see in behavior that's not working, you get to own it and shift so that it does work. Be the cause of the linking of arms across the globe. Be the cause of the community coming together and change the way that we live in our community. Change the way we see each other. Change the way we come together. Be the cause of that. Don't sit on the sidelines and be the lurker leader like I once chose. I didn't know I was choosing it until I did. And that's the day I woke up. That's the day I chose to live. Today, I step in even deeper to realize that my results are my intentions. My results are my intentions. At the end of the day, I'm the only one that must live with that experience. I'm the only one that gets to say that I didn't feel the peace that I wanted to feel or be in the world that I wanted to experience. Those are my intentions lived as results. That is the cause of oneness. That, not the cause of oneness, that is the experience of oneness. So I know that when I intend something and I live it and I experience it, that you all will too. Oneness is I'm in all of you and you are in me. When I see you, I see me. That is the epitome of be the change you want to see in the world. If you're not being it, you're not going to see it. And if you're not seeing it, you're not being it. It's that simple. So today is your birthday. Today you turn the light on. Today you flick the switch. Today I get to see you shine. Today I get to see you live fully. Today I get to see you in committed action. Today I get to see you be inspired by your dreams, by your vision, by your light. Today I get to see you change someone else's world. Today I get to see you see yourself in the mirror for the very first time and feel love that you're alive. Today I get to experience your joy. And you get to be it. At the end of the day, ask yourself, did I experience my vision? Did I experience my light? And know your results. At the end of the day, there's no judgment when you're crossing the line into a new reality. When you decide to leave this planet, you face you. The mirror of who you have been your entire life. And it's only you that judges you, ever. So if you're going to judge you in a space of possibility and see the change and be the change. And know that the mirror exists not just at the end of your life when you cross over to a new energetic world, but every day you're alive and you're living, you're looking into the mirror. So be the change. Have a powerful vision and stand in it and be the cause of committed action. And if you're going to judge you for your possibilities and your bravery and your courageousness and your commitment. And then watch the world shift in front of you. If you're going to choose it, you're going to choose it now. The next step is to declare who you are, what you want to experience in the world, and be in committed action, meaning take that first step, be that change, and experience it for the very first time, and celebrate it for the very first time. What does a declaration sound like? It sounds like me deciding I'm going to be this space of peace. I'm going to lean into the unknown and be seen. I'm going to be live on social media and express who I am. I'm going to be the cause of others choosing that in themselves. I'm going to see the mirror of who I'm being because I'm being it. And I'm going to be willing to face any consequences of my light shining. Consequences in that others may see me, others may hear me, and others may choose themselves. And that I don't have control over other people's choices, but I do have control over mine. And if I can control where I'm at and what I choose and who I get to be, then so can you. And that I can control. I can be the example of what's possible. I'm seeing a question in the chat. Should I get a coach to support me in my declaration? Should I say it to a buddy to hold me high? Absolutely. You can say it to anyone, but say it to someone. Say it to anyone, but say it to someone who will hear you and listen. You can say it on social media and ask for someone to say they've heard you and will hold you high. Ask for a buddy to hold you in that space of possibility. And when you go into the spaces that are not of possibility and that are self-defeating and self-judging to remind you that that's what you're doing so you could shift your way and stand in your power moving forward. But be the change. Be the cause of your vision. Choose an MLK stretch and be it in the world. Be the cause of peace. Jump into communities. Raise your hand. Speak what's true in your heart, in your soul. Allow others to hear it so they can choose it too, because they may not have known that existed. And that is living in the space of the unknown. The unknown, which will cause peace. That's my declaration. Lean into the unknown and cause peace by being you, or whatever your vision is, be it love, be it joy, be it possibility. And if you fall down, it doesn't mean you failed. No, it means you fell down and you got a bump or a bruise or a scrape that turns into a scar that turns into a reminder of how great you are that you got back up. And you remind yourself what your vision is, and you stand in that very possibility in every moment. It's not about being perfect or living to perfection. It's about being in excellence and reminding yourself what that is. Standing as possibility for yourself so that others can choose that too. Be the example of what's possible. Be the example to allow yourself to fall down and get scraped up, bumped and bruised, and maybe even bleeding, and get back up again. And call your buddy and let them know what happened, that you fell down. And maybe you reaching your hand up in support and ask for support. A community is a space for support. And if we're all standing in possibility from the unknown, causing and creating a new world, the buddies we have in our life, Kathleen, the people that we have in our life that hold us high, that we link arms with, will rise with us as they pull us up into the space where we've declared ourselves to be. And still, at the end of the day, we can say that we fell down and got back up in community, in peace, in power, in love. We get to be vulnerable in this space where we don't know what we're going to say, but we know we're going to stand in this space of peace and love. So, who wants to be a buddy? Who wants me as a buddy? I see Kathleen wants me as a buddy. You got me already, dude. I'm all yours. And Jen, my beautiful producer of the show, we'll all be buddies together. The only way to know if you have one is to reach out and ask for one. Reach out in support of possibility. Imagine that. Don't reach out because you're so far down that you need something, because you are a victim to something, but reach out because you require support in standing tall, and you want to stand tall on your own, and you get to stand tall on your own and declaring that you are, and you're reaching out to someone that's a friend, a buddy, a colleague, a family member, a neighbor, asking for support to hold you high where you intend to be. So how do you reach out to me? You can find me on social media at the Crossroads to Awakening show. You can find me at email, wendy@wendypaquette.com. You can find me anywhere. You can Google the show. You can reach out to the show. You can reach out to me through the show. You can hop in the chat room. You can send a message anywhere. Find a friend of a friend of a friend of billions of people on social media, because I'll be your buddy and I'll hold you high and I'll see you in your greatness and I'll see you in your possibility and I'll hold you there and I won't let go. You get to be the greatest gift that the world has ever seen from your perspective, in your skin suit, shining bright like the light you are born to be. Today is the day you flick on your switch. Today is the day you choose your birthday too. Today's the day you get to be alive. Thank you for standing with me on January 18th, 2021, as a stand for peace in the unknown. Let's all stand together. It's everybody's birthday today. You get to sing the happy birthday song in many ways, but sing it together and sing it as one. Thanks for being here. I stand with you.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Crossroads to Awakening radio show. Wendy Paquette will return next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We look forward to you joining us again. Until then, enjoy your journey and we'll meet you at the crossroads.